Hey guys, and welcome back. Today we're hopping in, rating some more fan builds, and really putting my building skills and building ego to shame. I guess what I'm trying to say is today's topic is realistic builds, and if there's one thing I struggle at, there's a lot of things I struggle at. It would be realistic builds. First one up, we have this one from Chef, and we have a very dark build here. SciFi Tunnel, very realistic. I love this. I think you nailed the lighting. I think you nailed the PBR textures. We have very nice reflective metal, great light reflections on the hard surfaces. This is really good. Let me check out some more. Very, very nice. We have sort of a, what is this? Like I have it in my head. I have the word in my head. Boiler room.
Today, Junior?
That's probably wrong. Okay. This looks really good too, though. And then we have probably, is this the same build or a different one? I don't know, but it looks good in green too. This is fantastic. I don't know what's going on right here. Maybe just light reflecting off odd surfaces, who knows? But this build looks absolutely incredible, and I think I'm gonna have to give you a 10 out of 10. Yes, 10 out of 10 for the first build in the video is actually nuts. But anyways, this is very, I love and hate that. Okay, this is a 10 out of 10 though. Great job, dude. Up next, we got, I don't know, you can't really pronounce that name, and it looks like another sci-fi build. This one took a bit more of the, what would this be? It's not like this one's less realistic. More of the fantasy approach, I guess I could say. And it looks good. I feel like it doesn't look as good because who you're competing against, aka the person we just looked at. I feel like it'd be very hard to beat them. It still looks really cool, but I think I'm gonna have to go with a 7. Just in comparison, man. It's like, it's like when you look at a fried chicken leg and then a raw chicken leg. Obviously, like, if you're hungry, you're gonna go for the fried chicken. So yeah, this still looks really good. Just, it's hard to compete with what we just saw. Up next, Dicky Zombie YT has a sort of post-apocalyptic build. I will say, let me look at the other picture real quick. Okay, so yes, it counts as a realistic build, but your lighting gives it like a toy vibe, if that makes sense. Since you have a very post-apocalyptic scene, I think you should dim it all down. So right now it looks like you have a pinkish orange tint in your lighting, which is real nice, sunny, playful, but it needs to be grayscaled pretty much. And I think that would help this build so much. Now, since I don't have the studio file, I just jumped into Photoshop real quick and did some quick little color corrections. I added a little bit of fog, just this image here. I think that helps bring that sort of post-apocalyptic vibe. And then for the vibrance, I brought down the vibrance and the saturation. This is gonna sort of dull out the colors and once again help with that post-apocalyptic vibe. I brought the exposure down just a little bit and then brightness down a hair and contrast up, and we end up with this versus this. So as you guys can see, the lighting alone would help this build tremendously. Once again, starting here and ending here. Now guys, I'm no pro in Photoshop, but I hope that helped get my point across. Anyways, this as a build in all, I think I'm gonna give it a 6, which I don't feel comfortable with that, but it doesn't really look like anything matches. The bus is somehow smaller than this cut down tree stump, which could make sense, but not if the tree stump is growing in the middle of the road, because it wouldn't get that big. This car looks like it would have, oh, you guys can't even see the car, it's behind my webcam. This car looks like it would have so much more detail than the bus. So it really does seem like a bunch of free models thrown together, which isn't a bad thing, but it just, I don't know, it doesn't really fit for me. Still looks good overall though. Up next, this guy, every rating fan builds, he always submits a gory, disgusting build, and that is why I like him. He really does just kill it at this style. I don't see many people doing this like gross, just disgusting vibe of builds, and I gotta give it to him. Honestly, this one's looking just as good as all his other ones. He does a great job with lighting, a great job with that reflective, wet feel for the blood, which, don't ever make me describe that again. Anyways, I think I'm gonna go with an 8.5 out of 10, or a 9. We're gonna go with an 8.5. Looks great. It does creep me out though. Up next, Tristan5511 for an FPS map. Let's check it out. First off, color palette. On this this map, it's giving me Rust vibes from Modern Warfare 2. Not the new Modern Warfare 2 that they disgraced the old one by calling the new one Modern Warfare 2, which they shouldn't have called it that because the original Modern Warfare 2 was just a pristine Call of Duty, and then this new one is... I mean, you know. Anyways, this does give me the Rust from Modern Warfare 2 vibe with that sort of drowned out, dusty lighting. But it works. It does work for this. I think overall it does look pretty good, man. I don't see anything that sticks out or seems out of place. All your textures work well together. Sizing on everything is good as well. I'm gonna give this a 9.5 out of 10. Great job. Up next, Sir. Yep, that guy. Just from these smaller pictures, I'm gonna shoot this over to the stylized department. I don't think it's more realistic than low poly, but the colors make it seem very stylized. And hey, that might be what they're going for. Anyways, I think overall this does look pretty good. I love this bridge. However, I can't tell if it's wood support beams or rusted metal. If it's wood, it doesn't really make sense because there's concrete walls on top of it. If it's rusted metal, it looks like wood. Anyways, overall, this does look pretty sick. I love the textures on your rocks. Your trees are nice as well. This texture's beautiful. Oh, it does look good. The bridge is really bugging me though. Like if it's wood, I'm giving you a 6 out of 10. If it's rusted metal, why is it rusted? Because everything else looks so pristine. I'm gonna go with a 7 out of 10. The build looks great. The bridge is just really throwing off my mental. Up next, we have Angry. How could you be angry? This looks pretty good for an abandoned, deserted island. Honestly, if you go on there, you're probably gonna get bit by 58 different species of bugs, 3 snakes, and yikes, whatever's in that chest. Anyways, I do think your lighting with this one is a bit scuffed. We are too bright, I feel. This should, at least in my opinion, and please keep in mind I'm not an expert at the realistic stuff, this should have more of a desert vibe. More orange toned lighting, orange, yellow, dusty cork tones. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing, take it into Photoshop, do a little bit of color correction, and see if it looks better with my idea. All right, guys, with my very limited knowledge in color correcting in Photoshop, this is kind of what I meant. I zoomed the image in because it doesn't make sense for a desert-esque, no water environment to be surrounded by water. I think that's the first thing throwing it off. And then the sky, way too blue in my opinion. Once again, it just seems too lively for how dead the environment is. Anyways, I think we're gonna give this one a 6 out of 10. Maybe a 5 out of 10. Yeah, we're gonna go with the 5. Up next, we have, is this the same guy? Didn't I try to read this guy's name before? This one is definitely more of the real vibes. It looks terrifying. In fact, the scary game I'm making at the moment, I might be building something like this. It'd be great for one of the story modes, and it looks really good and really creepy. Oh yeah, the detail in here is just amazing. I think we're going with a 10 out of 10 on this one. Textures work great. Your vegetation in here isn't too over the top, but it does help bring some life into what would be like sort of a dead haunted zone. I think this is great. Absolute 10 out of 10. Oh snap, blocks. Looks like we're back to that rust color palette, maybe more so than last time. And it looks okay. I think overall it's good, but I can't really tell what's going on with this ground. Looks like a very nice texture that you put on a very flat object. I'm guilty of this too. Just a high quality texture usually isn't enough to bring out all of the textures of an object so you can really feel it. I think if you had, is it called displacement? Some bump maps? I don't know the right word off the top of my head, but just a little bit of more elevation changes. I still don't know the right word. In this, all this flatness, I think it would look a lot better. And your hard rocks on the road kind of look like puddles. So I think we're gonna go with a 5 out of 10 on this one. It's not horrible, but there's definitely room for improvement. Oh man, we got a fire truck. I do gotta say this, fire trucks are, yes, bright and red, but this one is still giving me that more cartoonish vibe. And I don't know if that's because of the background we have it set on. I don't know if that's because it's hovering in air with no tires, which I've always wondered this. I'm not a vehicle modeler, so if you are, maybe you can answer this question. Why do most vehicle modelers do everything except the tires? I feel like that's the easiest part of everything. So like, is it just, I don't know. Anyways, Anyways, yes, this does look good. We can definitely tell what it is. I love all of the little details in here, but something, maybe the color palette is just not really screaming realistic. Maybe I'm confusing realistic with hyper realistic. It looks great nonetheless, though. This is definitely an 8.5 or a 9 for me. Great job. Swark. Hopefully I said that right. Suburban House. It does look good, but it looks like the environment was made first and made nice and realistic, and then the house was plopped on the land. I don't really know how else to explain that, but the house doesn't feel like it fits its environment, if that makes sense. The house and the environment stand alone, do look good, but I think all in all, as a scene, I'm gonna have to give it a 6 out of 10. All right, we got a burger from LCC Dev. Okay, all right, if this is a realistic burger, right? If a restaurant served this to me, stop it. Get some help. It does look good for what it is. I don't know why the buns are like dough. Like, it's like they made the dough, but then didn't turn it into a bun, if that makes sense. And what is that? Lettuce. Oh my God, it looks like it'll break your teeth off. Overall, it does look good. I might just be being picky. I am a very picky eater. I'm gonna give this one a 6 out of 10. It looks like our last submission is from VannavanadishTea. Yep, definitely said that right. No free models, library set, and progressive era. First off, this is screaming Doors build style, and I kind of love it. They have this beautiful mix of like realistic, but still feeling cartoony or inviting. So even when you have like this horror aspect, which for some reason libraries just scream horror to me. I don't know. It's just not a fun place to be, at least in my mind. Anyways, you nailed it. Not overly on the hyper realistic side, but the build overall does look cohesive, and it looks like everything does belong here. I think you did a great job, and for this style, I'm gonna give it 10 out of 10. I'll never understand how people make things like really realistic, which most of the time isn't too inviting. It's just like, cool, that's in Roblox? Wow. And then they mix that and have a very inviting feel. Great job, for real, for real. Anyways, guys, I do think that's gonna wrap it up for today. If you did enjoy and you wanna see more content like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day. Later.